The room went quiet.
Sum of money floating away is like a homework to be done.
Best in prompting.
SWOTs or deal breaker taxes are everywhere.
Ruin the deal.
I didn't receive anything
I totally agree.
except death and taxes.
Good for you.
Good for me, yes.
It's always true.
It's all about love.
Hi everyone and welcome back. In business, speed is the king. When the transaction is running so fast, numbers are inspiring, and closing is just around the corner, then someone asks, "Did you check the tax implication?" The room went quiet. I'm Oleg Boehm, and today we start our new episode of the series One-on-One. My guest today is Sofia Navruzbakova, a brilliant tax expert, calm under pressure, and more impressive than her CV suggests, and just gorgeous. Sofia has years of experience in taxes, including working in a big four firm. Sofia, nice to see you here.
Oleg, hello. Thank you for invitation. I really like to be the first one who is opening a one-on-one series on deal talks. And since explaining difficult things as simple as possible is what I do for a living, this is all about tax, I believe I can be helpful today and make this podcast interesting.
Look, I have been thinking about this. Like, why taxes are not so exciting as a strategy or structuring or sales. When it comes to taxes, it feels different and the tension comes. Why do you think this is?
Well, I think there are two possible reasons. First of all, paying taxes, this is all about deduction. When I say tax consequences, business owners imagine sum of money floating away.
Right.
And moreover, the Russian tax system is relatively young and at some extent unclear. And if we multiply these two facts, we understand that the result of this multiplication makes it obvious why taxes create tension. And the second reason is that calculating tax obligation is like a homework to be done, like at school. When everything is decided, when we discussed all other terms of the transaction, someone says, okay, now we should be tedious, we need to calculate something, we need to look at the details. And details slow people down. No one wants to be someone like the SWOTs or deal breaker during that very moving process. Strategy is about looking forward. Taxes is all about looking what is underneath. And very often people don't want to look what is covered there.
Right. The taxes is not just like fine or not fine. It's the core of the transaction. From my experience, I have seen many times that once the deal is close to be done and just the question is asked too late, and then the whole transaction or restructuring shall be renegotiated or restructured, right?
Yes, exactly. And if we think about the pattern that is nowadays very common, no one wants to ask tax advisor or tax director to participate at earlier stage of negotiation, and I understand why. But actually, nowadays, this pattern has changed, that's true. It's completely different if we're talking about, for example, 10 years ago. Now, I'm not talking about small firms right now, because in small firms there is a common situation when there is a not tax accountant but general accountant and someone responsible for taxes. I'm talking about huge, large corporations.
Right.
Nowadays, each self-respecting company hires a tax director or tax consultant, but even though business owners don't want to ask them questions in order not to start uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like with the lawyers. You don't go to them because you expect that they will ruin the deal, right? And, you know, something that you said stuck with me for a long time. Once you said, I can't really stop thinking about taxes. What do you mean by that?
Not that I'm thinking about taxes all the time, even when I fall asleep, no. But I believe that taxes are everywhere, around each particular step of the transaction. For example, when you start a company, when you hire personnel, when you pay your suppliers, when you move dividends, or even just offset obligations without paying any money, this is everything about tax. Tax comes everywhere. For example, in the Russian tax code, we have such a concept for individuals that saying that if the individual buys shares at a price which is lower than market level of prices,
Okay.
in this case scenario, this difference between the prices, fair market value, and the transaction price is a deemed benefit of this individual that should be taxed.
Okay.
And very often people don't know about that. They just think, I bought an asset. I didn't receive anything from this asset right now. But still, this is the moment where tax occurs. And if you do not consult with your tax advisor, that could be a serious problem in the future because penalty comes.
Right. This is very interesting. You know, I would like to speak more about the first pain point, is that sometimes you feel that the tax question, just like legal questions, should be raised and asked like 3 weeks ago. And then this happens, like the shares are transferred. Even the money are moved. And then, after the deal is closed, the business or someone is sitting down and asking himself and then others, so okay, now let's think about tax results. And then business is coming to you, right?
Yes. And I think this is the problem here because I don't know why, but business owners or directors who are responsible for the transaction, they believe that it's better not to ask tax specialist first, but maybe they believe that tax consequences can be cleared up later or even maybe afterwards. Spoiler, often it can't be done so. Actually, I have a very strange example in my life. I heard about one case, very, very funny, I want to share with you. Just as you said, assets transferred, money moved, some obligations were offset, and there was the outstanding amount of the obligations without any documental provement. Only on this stage, the beneficial owner decided to consult tax advisor.
Okay, very smart.
Very, and still maybe he likes some risks. And in this particular case, tax advisor said that there is nothing about a good enough decision. Only that you can do is just to create something like a provement for this outstanding amount. And what this client decided to do, they decided to create a letter of credit, because letter of credit is something about something obvious, I think, for Russian business. But this client understood that tax inspector will come and ask for something, I mean, physical, like a real provement of that letter of credit. And then the culmination comes. They decided to print out a colored letter of credit and put it in the desk.
Okay.
And they truly believe that it will work. When great people make great transactions, for me it's strange to think like that about taxes and tax inspectors. But still, we can see this in practice.
Yeah, he is quite clever enough. But what is more interesting, or, surprising, is that nothing is wrong with the transaction. There are no flags. There are no wrong moves or something like that. It's just a matter that a simple preparation step could change this attitude or further risk appetite, and this is again about the right time when you ask the tax advisor. So you see the risk is not like a tax bill itself, but it's loss of optionality and flexibility.
Yes.
But I see that this attitude and this approach is changing throughout the years. Like it's differs from, let's say, 10 years ago. Do you see this also?
Yes, I see that because nowadays there are a lot of tax consultancy firms, not only big four firms in the Russian markets, but even smaller ones. We see that, as I said previously, a lot of companies hire tax specialists, and nowadays I believe salaries for tax specialists, they are rising, but
good for you.
Good for me, yes. As my colleague said, I will always have a certain type of work because we have tax disputes, we have unclear tax code and tax regulations. So yes, as Benjamin Franklin said, nothing can be said certain except death and taxes. Yeah.
Right.
A very maybe boring quote, but still I like it.
It's always true.
Yes, always true, exactly. And talking about this pattern changing nowadays, yes, we see tax specialists included or involved in transaction discussion at earlier stages, but we have another actually pattern nowadays. Previously, chief executive officers or managing directors came to the meetings very well equipped with the experience they have from previous transactions. But now they also ask AI about what can be here. And nowadays they come to the meetings with the list of possible threats, possible tax risks to be solved. And my first question now is not about the real situation, the real transaction, the real assets or parties involved. My first question now is about what have you prompted with AI? What was the information you gave to AI?
Right.
Because taxes is all about details. Minor changes in intra information, in what is done, can change everything. So now it's difficult because I spent a lot of time battling with the results creating by AI. I'm not thinking about AI here as a threat. I believe that nowadays we spend a lot of time just to double check what was done prior to the meeting, rather than discuss the situation from scratch and maybe create some solutions from choosing the best option from a plenty variety of options. Now we are within that limited framework, and it's really difficult.
Yeah, the AI is a hot topic.
Yes.
And you see that your expertise is also shifting, and now the knowledge is not to know and to be best in taxes, but now it's also to be best in prompting, best in using AI as a tool to help you to formulate the questions, to see the second opinion. But still, I see also that a lot of people are coming now with screenshots from AI to the meeting and say, look, here is the answer. It was like generated in 15 seconds. Why you took a week or so long to think about this? And it seems like AI is not removing the complexity, it's just relocating it. Do you think that there is a like human versus AI future, or how you see AI as a helping tool or fighting with him?
I don't think AI is a threat for human. Sometimes it's difficult to battle with AI conclusions because even if there is a hallucination, AI answer is very well structured, sounds very trustworthy, it's very well, prepared, and even refers to some court cases or letters of maybe of the Ministry of Finance.
Imagined.
But actually they don't exist in reality. And very often I see tax risks that just cannot happen in real life. And for me, my new, maybe a new, let's say, competence will be to battle with that AI risks. It's a sort of real battle because I need, first of all, to ruin the logic made by AI, and after that to sell my own logic, my own tax risks relating to that particular transaction. But actually, AI is very good companion. I use it also every day in my day-to-day work. For example, I created the prompt library and knowledge database, and using these two tools, I can be not 100% sure, but still that the answer could be trustworthy. But again, it's really difficult to change that pattern, new pattern, because people think that it's cheaper to use AI,
yeah.
And you can just ask him whatever you want. But I every time I say to my clients that just imagine you can ask something about your health if you don't feel well using AI or just scrutinize what is going on. But to get the right prescription, you should go and see your doctor. Taxes are completely the same. You have to obtain secondary human tax opinion after you receive something from AI. Why do we need to do so? Because human is about accountability. AI is only an orientational tool, but judgment matters a lot.
Right.
And judgment is about personality, is about accountability. And accountability is about human, not about AI. And also
I see that like AI will never tell you I need more context.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
Say, tell me more or give me more details.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Otherwise, you just like put him to the wall and say, ask me questions, tell me the truth, check the facts.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a human being attitude. That's totally different.
Yes, exactly.
And that's also, I see, like a tension in this matter, shifting this approach, what we are discussing today towards the tax matters. Sofia, if you have to leave something out of our episode and give piece of advice to our listeners, please share something with us.
I would keep it as simple as possible. First of all, tax is not a threat. You have to bring tax implications on the table as early as possible, because it will give you a room to adjust something in transaction documentations or in transaction structure. Also, AI is a good companion. It cannot replace a human being in this process. It's just an orientational tool. But of course, I'm 100% sure that if you receive AI analysis, you need to double check with human. You need to obtain secondary tax opinion. Believe me, it really works.
Thank you. Look, before we end up, I have a surprise for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you like surprises because you're working with taxes. I have like a lighting round with Short question, quick answer.
Okay.
Not overthinking.
Okay.
Early call from client or late night email.
Early call.
Coffee before tax analysis or after?
Before, during, and after.
Okay. Can tax be romantic?
Of course. It's all about love.
Okay. The phrase, it should be fine, is it encouraging or alarming?
Alarming.
What is the favorite sentence you hear from clients usually?
Just to double check. I know the result, I know the answer, just to double check with
Just to double check. Okay, be honest now. What causes more stress for you? Tax authorities or founders who say, trust me?
I think when,
Difficult question, short answer.
yes, something in between. When you believed the beneficial owner and then you realize that you have to go to tax authorities and to sell this idea as it was your own idea.
Okay. What is more exciting? Water pipes in aquapark or cross-border structuring?
Cross-border structuring.
Okay. What is more dangerous? Confidence without analysis or analysis without confidence?
Analysis without confidence, absolutely.
If I would need to leave this episode with one line, it would be this. The business and tax is not just about complexity, but it's about the right time to ask difficult questions until it became expensive. And if something from today's episode feels uncomfortable, it's a good sign. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oleg, for invitation.
Thanks. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching Deal Talks.